Hey Naturals, how are you? Welcome to a Go Natural English lesson with me, your English teacher, Gabby. I'm really happy that you're here today because we're going to talk about how to find your best English teacher. Now, you know that I encourage you to learn independently and to be an active self-starter, to practice on your own because you're not always going to have a teacher with you. And I don't think that you only can learn from a teacher. I think that we can teach ourselves a lot. However, when you want to push to the next level, it's very good to have a teacher to guide you, to show you how you can improve and where to go next. So I want to talk to you in today's lesson about what to look for in the ideal teacher. Maybe if you're taking an English class in a group, or if you're looking for a tutor to work with you one-on-one. I also would like to recommend Live Lingua because they help you find your perfect English teacher for you. So I've partnered with them, and you can find out how to sign up for your first lesson at Live Lingua at gonaturalenglish.com/livelingua. So they will match you with the best teacher for you, and it takes a lot of the work and the thinking out of it. So you don't have to spend a long time searching for the perfect teacher or interviewing teachers and spending a lot of time trying to find the right one. But let's talk about what you need to look for in order to find that perfect match. You know, we think about matching in terms of finding a partner or maybe a job or your friends, but I think it's also very important when you match with your teacher. You know, thinking about the language teachers that I've had, I always felt like I learned more when I got along with the teacher. So I remember my French teacher who would allow me to write songs in French, and she would give me feedback on them. And I could talk with her about French movies, and I really liked that she appreciated the arts, and we could talk about that together. Or one of my Spanish teachers who also loved theater, and she allowed us to create our own plays in Spanish, and I really loved that. So those are some fond memories I have of my language teachers, and I hope that you'll have great memories of your language teachers who you match well with too. So let's start with you. I made this beautiful Venn diagram with two circles representing you and your best teacher and things that I want you to have in common too. So it's not just all about your teacher after all. You have to be ready to be a motivated student and to be ready to learn. So you need to know your goals for language learning. What is it that you want to accomplish through your lessons? What exactly is your goal? Why are you learning English? What's your motivation? Are you motivated by something that English can help you get? Maybe a better job, maybe a new friend, maybe networking, maybe travel. What is it that motivates you? Preparation. Now, this goes along with being an independent self-starter. Don't depend on your teacher to give you everything. Don't show up to your lessons without preparing. Well, how do you prepare? I think that in our education systems around the world, we've become too dependent on the teacher to give us everything, and we've lost that ability to prepare and to lead the way for our lessons. But that's not a good thing. We shouldn't rely on the teacher for everything. I think that you should come to your lessons with an idea of what you want to learn, with questions. So this is another point, that if you start to study on your own, then you will have doubts, you will have questions, and it's a really good idea to bring those to your lessons. Now, let's go over here to your best teacher. I think these things will be pretty clear, because of course you want an experienced teacher. You want someone who knows how to communicate lessons in a clear way, and sometimes experience gives the teacher a better ability to do that. Qualifications are also really important. If your teacher has a degree in teaching or a certificate, that can show you that they have the ability to be a good teacher. Now, qualifications aren't the only important thing, but as you can see, I have several points here. So let's talk about modeling, being a model. No, I don't mean a supermodel. I don't mean your teacher needs to be good looking. I mean that he or she needs to be a model of what you want to learn. So if you want to learn English with an American accent, I would recommend that you look for an American teacher and not a British teacher or an Australian teacher. But if you want to learn a South African accent, then look for a South African teacher, or whatever it is that you want to learn, look for someone who can model that. And of course, your best teacher will really love teaching. There's nothing worse than a teacher who is not enjoying being a teacher. So look for someone who's really passionate and knows why they want to be a teacher, just like you know why you want to be a learner. Okay, here are some things that I think you should have in common with your teacher, ideally. Career. So I'm not saying that you should be a teacher or that your teacher should have the exact same career as you, but if, let's say, you're a pharmacist and your English teacher enjoyed biology class in high school, that will be helpful. Or maybe you could find, if you're a business person, you could find a teacher who has experience in business, and that will really help you when you're discussing advanced English to help you in your career. Speaking of interests, it will be so much more fun if you have some interests in common with your teacher when you're practicing advanced, free-flowing conversation. If you have some similar hobbies or passions or interests that you can discuss, it'll be so much better because your teacher will be familiar with the vocabulary that you need to discuss that topic when you want to discuss outside of your lessons. Maybe if you're at a dinner party or you're networking, you'll be ready to go in depth on those topics. Character. So your teacher's character, whether they're more type A or type B. Type A, we say someone is more organized and a bit rigid sometimes, maybe strict. Type B is a little more easygoing, free-flowing. So these are two different main personality types, and you may prefer one or the other depending on your personality or your character. Now, character also means something else. It means the values or our behaviors that we have. And of course, you want a teacher who's going to be punctual and honest and things like that. Okay, schedule. So whatever your schedule is, you need to find a teacher who can match that so that your schedules fit. I think this is quite clear. It's helpful when you can meet your teacher at the same time each week or several times a week, instead of trying to find a time that works. If it's always different for you each week, it can be a bit complicated and take a lot of time. Learning style or teaching style. So do you want a teacher who's going to tell you, do this, this, and this, or do you prefer a teacher who's going to ask you questions and explore the language with you? There's different teaching styles, and you might want to think about what you prefer and find a teacher who is willing and comfortable with teaching you in that way. Age and gender. Now, of course, working with any teacher will help you, but I do think that it's valuable at least once to try working with a teacher who's in a similar age range and the same gender as you, because we learn to copy our teachers. And so if you want to express yourself in a way that is most appropriate or how you want to appear in the world, then you want to work with a teacher who is the kind of person who you are or who you want to be. So if you, for example, you want to learn more slang or vocabulary that someone in your age range, your gender, and your kind of person, maybe someone in your career or with your interests uses a different set of vocabulary than someone who wants to appear in another way. So these are slight differences, but I think it's interesting to work with someone who's similar to you, but also work with teachers who are different from you. It's important to try learning from different people because in the real world, you're going to have to interact with all different kinds of people. Genders, different ages, different backgrounds, different cultures, different interests. And so when you meet people who are not like you, you're going to feel much more comfortable speaking with them on a variety of topics if you work with a teacher who is different than you too. So I'm saying try out different teachers. Now, if this sounds like a lot of work to find the perfect teacher for you, it can be. It can be fun, but it can take a lot of time, a lot of trial and error. So I would recommend to try Live Lingua because the awesome thing about their online live lessons with qualified native English teachers, English speaker teachers, is that they're going to match you with the teacher who they think is best for you, the best fit for you. So take the time and effort out of searching for your perfect teacher and try them out. Learn more at gonaturalenglish.com/livelingua. So I hope you'll try that out. I hope you enjoyed this lesson or this tip for your English lessons, and I hope to talk to you again soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.